Hi, welcome to the Giulio Show. Hey. Hello, welcome to Grover's Show. How many times I can do this. Hi everyone, welcome to the Giulio Show. This is my outside kitchen where hopefully in the future we can do some shows with some guests and make some pizzas and food. Pizza and food are two different things. But anyway, today's guest is Kevin Payne, a great friend of mine who we've remained friends for many years since the 80s, even during the pandemic when we were all losing our friends over politics, religion, and stupidity, watching other people and families break up. But in this conversation, you'll find it very interesting about what friendship really means and relationships really mean. So stay tuned. I look forward to seeing you. Thanks. See you then.
You ready to get started there, Bubba?
I'm ready when you are, my friend. Thanks for being early. Appreciate
that. Thanks for always answering your email. The day of. But anyway, we're going to welcome everybody to the show. And today's going to be a great show because I have a very great friend on who we've been friends for, over 40 years, since the mid 80s, I think. His name is Kevin Payne. He's a consultant. He's a teacher, a coach, an entrepreneur, award-winning hairstylist. I mean, I can go on and on with the accolades of Kevin. But
keep going.
You want to hear it, don't you?
No.
Yeah, no. There's many great things, and many. You've traveled the world. You've been all over the place. You've inspired a lot of people, and most of all, you've inspired me. And motivated me, and most importantly, is you've been a great friend, and we've had a great relationship, and that's what today is all about. It's about friendship, relationship. I don't want to get into political or controversial, but the importance of friendship and relationship, and what's that meant to us. I mean, I met you in the 80s. I don't even know how we met. I think it was just love at first sight. I said, he's tall, he's dark, he's handsome, he's mine. No.
That's great. We were at a training.
Were we at a training? So I can't even remember where I was yesterday. So
I don't remember where, because we did so many. But I think we might have been in like Boston or we were somewhere. But
what I loved about it is we were like, if you look at two little kids, they can just walk up to anybody and say, "Hey, you want to play? Want to be my friend?"
Exactly. Right.
And that's what it was like. It was just like, "Hey, what's your name? What's your name? Julio." And ever since, we were just buddies. We always roomed together, even though you try to cuddle with me now and then. But no, we did everything together, and we supported each other. And today, a lot of friendships have gone all over the place. But I mean, take me back a little bit, because I can't recall. I mean, we didn't sit there and say, "Hey, we're buddies. Hey, we're friends." It just happened.
Yeah, it did. And, and you lived in a different state than I did. So, there just was a good connection. And I think that's the thing, as we've met people along the way, you do get an instant connection with people, but then you make a conscious choice to stay connected. And then from that allowed us to just, build an incredible, friendship, because, we reached out and said, "Hey, let's go to this training." And really, it's a lot how we got our work opportunities, because you and I, from just having conversations, just said, "Hey, let's go to Chicago." And we went and we showed up, and in that pursuit of wanting to be better at our craft and wanting to have more of our career, we were just on the same pursuit. And I think that that's kind of what we started with, is just we wanted better things for each other. And then I admired that you were just funny all the time, like funny stuff just came out of your mouth.
Well, it wasn't even funny. You just laughed at it. So I think that's what worked.
Yeah, exactly. It
But
just
you know what was incredible is that Chicago show you brought up. You know,
Mhm.
uh, we weren't invited. We paid
Mhm.
for our own ticket.
Yep.
We just took the
Hotel.
opportunity at hotel, everything, meals. But we took the opportunity to say, how do we get involved? How do we get involved
Mhm.
with Paul Mitchell? How do we get involved with the team? And you and I just said we had a plan, you know,
Mhm.
to support each other. And that's
Yep.
what was important. We said,
Through
okay, so we're
yeah.
going to walk behind that stage and we're going to
Mhm.
act like we worked there. And we
Yep.
did.
That was the plan, and it worked. It may not work today, but it worked then. And and it wasn't like we were brand new faces. They saw our faces. You were doing tremendous work within your region. I was doing good work within my region. So there was some respect there, but like we were amongst the top or elite master associates, they were called at that time, and Gene Bra and all of them, and so you just had to be good people to stay around them. That was the other thing about that, because I saw some people get shoot away. Um,
Yeah,
but
shoot
we
away. I see them getting thrown out at the backstage.
exactly. But that's another side to it though. Like, be a nice person, right?
Yeah.
And I don't wear a smile, but because you were saying funny things, I was smiling all the time. So it was like so those things helped tremendously, and we just kept doing it, and we went to every show. We
Yeah.
went literally to every show.
And that's what friendship is, right? It's
Mhm,
we didn't talk to each other every day on the phone,
mhm,
but we talked, and when we talked, it mattered. And
mhm,
it was not like unsupported. Anything that came to mind, even with my ridiculous thinking, and you leveled me off a little bit because I was always
mhm,
ADHD off, and you were always the calm one. And crazy ideas. You would bring me
mhm.
back down to earth.
I'm writing notes now so we can get back on track.
And
Uh,
that's the way it's always been, and I admired that friendship because you did live in a different state, but we made
mhm,
sure that we connected. uh,
mhm.
we knew where each other was going to be, so that if the other one wanted to fly out, and we did invest in ourselves, we
Yeah,
would meet each
a
other
lot.
certain places,
Mhm.
behind our girlfriends and wives' backs. They
No, don't even
must
go
have done something. They must have done
there.
something. But no, we did. We met up, and we made it a
Mhm,
purpose to
mhm.
want to know, to understand, and to be
Mhm.
nice to people. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, it was, I think, back then much easier to make friends. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, compared to now, I really do. But in that realm, okay, meaning in the industry, and being able to do that. So, I mean, if you go to a show, people were like they were open. They want to talk to you. You always, dress well. I dress well, and that makes people want to talk to you. Like in passing, and I think we did that really well. As we were out there doing those events and everything, people wanted to talk. Now people just they don't. They're in their phones, or they're just not as friendly.
No,
Just
you're
not.
right. They're in their phones. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to talk to people, and they're
Hmm.
asking me questions,
Hmm.
but yet they're too busy on their phone while I'm trying to respond. It's gotten to the
Correct.
point now, if you're too busy on your phone and you're asking me a question, I just walk away and see if you noticed. It's
Yeah. Yeah. It is very, very different. Like with that, it's harder. Of course, maybe at our age, but it's harder even meeting people that could be friends. So that's different too. But back in the 80s, I mean, people were just, our industry was just a little bit different, just different in the sense of a lot of growth. if you look at it, like the product brands, they were growing, and all that energy from all of those companies, everybody was in the middle of growing, and like so it was just different, like different kind of time. And I feel we were blessed. I certainly feel blessed that we were introduced in that time frame, and we were introduced to Paul and to Gene and the Chadwicks, who Tommy Callahan, who just
Boy just
really,
passed away, so
yeah, may he rest in
he's
peace.
up in heaven, having a good old time and teaching. He was the teacher of the teachers, Tommy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, but
great friend, strict but great friend.
exactly, but that's all I was going to say. Well, all of them did not hold back their opinion of how to help us get better. And I think that's the difference in coaching and encouraging today. Like is that we walk a finer line of what we have to say, and that's okay. But I think if it wasn't for them, just being direct with you and I and many others, um, our
Well,
path
there's
would be
such a great
different.
culture that was
Hmm.
in Paul Mitchell, and I think that's why we stayed with the company, because I know you were
Hmm.
offered plenty of money to go somewhere. I was offered money,
Hmm.
and there was something about being in that industry that we even made even more friends that today we haven't talked to for a while. But once in a while, when we get on the phone, like with Larry or anybody
Hmm.
like that, it's like we picked up from yesterday. And that's
Yes.
what we do is laugh, even if it's
Yeah.
something political or what's going on.
Hmm.
We crack up. We don't fight. Where today,
Hmm.
God forbid, you speak your opinion, uh,
Hmm.
they don't no longer want to be your friend.
Hmm.
They're your best friend when they need something, but then if you don't agree with them, they're no longer your friend. And
Hmm.
how many times you and I haven't agreed, but we still remain friends? You know,
It
it's
just it
they,
happens, it does. Um, you should have the right to disagree, but that doesn't mean disown because you disagree,
love that. So, it's true because I did a post not long ago. I think ever since 2020 hit, people went nuts, especially on
Yes.
Facebook with the political realm and everything. You couldn't even
Hmm.
say a word without somebody, denouncing you as a friend that you've been friends with forever because their opinion's right, yours is not.
Hmm.
They can have one, but you can't. Uh, and I like to post all inspirational stuff. I love it when people like you and other people go, "Oh, wow, that was great." But I remember posting something like, "Hey, live like a lion." And the feedback I got from a couple of people were like, "I am not a lion, I'm a lioness." And
Hmm.
lions eat lions after they're
Hmm.
done mating with them. I'm like, "Damn, I
Hmm.
ain't gonna date you." Uh, you're gonna
Yeah.
kill me. But that's the thing today. And also too, we never had a friendship where if you got mad at someone, if you didn't get along with somebody, you never came to me and said, "Don't speak to so and so because I'm mad at them. But if you speak to them, I'll never be your friend." You have never said that. Why do you think people do that?
Yeah, it's certainly, like you said, that time period of the pandemic has really shifted the mindset of a lot of people. And, when you look at churches and just all of those things, it's starting to regress. It really is. It's regressing that, my church believes this, your church believes that. So I don't want any part of what you're believing in. And so that just seems to be moving, that movement, not just in the church, but it's just a movement within our society that's starting to just affect, people who are just out there working every day, trying to communicate with people, trying to, be a part of what America is doing. And,
They're trying to be
but you
politically
just,
correct and agree with everything rather than speaking their mind and respecting
yeah,
others.
exactly.
Uh, you, you know,
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that, it seems to be growing instead of getting smaller. It's like a tumor. It's a tumor that is growing, and instead of being reduced, So
I like what you said. It's like a tumor growing. That because that was going to be my next thing. How do you make friends now? How do you know they're true friends? I mean, every time we look and everybody's, hey brother, hey friend, hey pal, but when it comes down to it, they'll in a heartbeat they'll sue you. Or if you say something, yeah, you laughing at that because you know what I'm talking about. That's not uncommon for us. All of a sudden they're our best friends, but because you said in today's world something that you said for many years, all of a sudden, you got a letter, you got a letter from a lawyer, saying that you harass them. It's like, what the hell is going on? So it's scary to make friends. So how can you tell a true friend? I mean, I can tell you're a true friend because I know I can say anything to you. It never goes anywhere. It stays between us. And if anything, you're either gonna be a good listener or you're gonna kind of help me out. But today, I'm afraid. I think most people are afraid. There's a lot of people out there afraid. They want to make friends, but they're unsure that this is a friend and not an enemy.
Yeah, I feel like you answered your own question there to some degree, and that's
And I don't need you. Okay.
like those. You're right. Those things, though. No, like you want that sense of trust, right? No different than like in your marriage, right? You want that sense of trust. You also just want that sense
Wait. Back up.
of
Let's talk about marriage here. First time around, maybe not. The second time, yes, you're right.
Correct. And
You learn from the first, right?
it is the second time for both of us, and there are way better scenarios, So,
Well, I think that doesn't that bring us to
mhm,
the point of how you look for a true friend is you
mhm,
kind of look back at what worked and what didn't work, and
mhm,
I don't know
mhm,
what made us trust our second marriage. What
mhm,
was it? Because after our first ones, you and I talked a lot. We're like,
mhm.
it ain't
Yeah,
never gonna happen.
yeah. My wife said, when she met me, that she thought I was going to try to be a bachelor for life. Um, but I wish friendship was similar in the sense that after meeting her and just in having dinner and stuff like that, like I just knew it was just like one of those things where it's just like, man, this is way better than what I've come across as far as long term, like thoughts in my head. So, um,
I think the key
and
was
and
is you became
friendships,
good friends first
yeah,
before you became
yeah,
lovers.
and we really were
Isn't that a song? We were
friends.
friends before we were lovers. Forget it. Go on. So,
No, I don't think so. No, but so in doing that, so okay, we met. If I could tell this, we met some friends in Connecticut, who are like a great couple and good friends. But like how we met them, is where I think that's different, in that process. And the husband we met first, and he was like the things that you were saying. Though he was open and just so many just characteristics of that, right? And we meet people, they're not open. They're just not open. And so, like that, to go to that next like level of, hey, let's have dinner together, never occurs because they're really not open, and and then they don't, they close the lid of trust in being able to do that. And maybe it's just because, like so many people have hurt so many people that I remember sitting next to a guy one time. He's like, "I'm too old to make new friends." Like, and the guy was like, he was retired from the service, so he was like 45, 50, maybe. But that's how he felt.
yeah. How many
And
times you
being
get that
able to
at work
do
though?
that.
How many people come to work and say, "I'm here to work, not to make friends"?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but
And,
that's crazy. I mean, how
yeah.
can you work
Mhm.
with people that are at least you can't get along for the day? It's not like you got to call each other every night. It's not like you got to go out
Mhm.
for beers, but how can you come in and have a great day and a great attitude if
Mhm.
you're just already in that mindset that
Mhm.
I'm not here to make friends, like that guy at the bar. I don't need
Mhm.
friends. I don't want to make
Mhm.
friends. Isn't it lonely?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, to some degree, it is. That is for sure.
Because I'll tell you,
Um,
I was like you. I wanted to, uh, be a bachelor forever after the
mhm.
first marriage. And
Mhm.
I actually never knew I could have a great friendship with a woman. I've been friends with women all my life because I worked in that
Mhm.
industry. But to
Mhm.
the point where you could share personal stories that,
Mhm.
other people would be jealous of or hold against you, later on in
Mhm.
the relationship. It was never
Right.
that way. It was, like, open and honest, like you said, to the point that we became
Mhm.
such good friends. I don't even know when we started dating.
Right.
As a matter of fact,
Exactly.
we dated for 10 years, and I finally got married in August.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you.
But I never thought I'd say that word again, because once
Yeah.
again,
Mhm.
it's a lot of people plan the wedding, but they don't plan the marriage. And when you're friends with somebody, that's a relationship, and that is a marriage. So how do you plan that friendship forever? And I think yes, trust, integrity. I mean, we can
Mhm.
come up with all these other words that a lot of people have mailed in, uh,
Mhm.
but we we meet people every day, and I try to
Mhm.
smile. I try to say hello.
Mhm.
You try to be
Mhm.
friendly, and they wear a mask,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's like dating, right? You're just gonna impress
Mhm.
me for that moment, but then as soon as I get to know them, oh my God, the evil thoughts that come out of their mind that I have to, and maybe they're not, but I push away. Do you feel that way sometimes? It's like, whoa,
Mhm.
what you're telling me right now is scaring the hell out of me to be your friend.
Yeah, so I think about in that sense, because I still like going into a store and being serviced by people in doing that. And I think we are really in a big place now where many people are regressing from that and shopping online. So that experience, right, to talk to people and to get service and get good service, to not get good service, that is happening, like so much. And it changes the way people respond and react with us, or with each other, in that process, because we're getting in a different kind of habit in the way that we function and do things, and preference. These are preferences. Hey, I'm shopping online, and to do that. So they don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to connect with people. And if we in our time frame, which is obviously different, we don't have those same technologies that we had back then. But if those things,
Damn, how
a,
old
a
are you?
lot, a lot of those things wouldn't have happened to us, though. Think about it,
Wait,
really,
what do you
if
mean
we
you
were
didn't
in
have
a
technology back then? How old are you? Did you have cars and buses? What the hell are you talking about?
it's technology to the level it is.
I never
Yes,
heard of
I had a phone with an antenna, like
you had to look for payphones back then.
exactly.
No,
Yeah, so I think that's the stuff that's shifting the way people, want to have interaction, right? Is because we're shifting the way we are interacting.
well, hey, let me
Um,
give you a shift, and let me call out the elephant in the room, okay?
mhm.
I'm white or yellow, shall I say. Some people automatically think I'm white, but some people call me a yellow man because they know I'm a mix. Um, you're a black man, or should I refer to you as African American, or yellow? You're
This is
yellow too,
this is
you know?
yellow. This is yellow right
It's yellow.
here.
But,
This
to
is
me,
yellow, and this is black.
exactly. I mean, I never refer to you as Kevin, my black friend, and you never
But
refer to me
you know
as,
how many times we heard people say that, though.
yeah, right. Hey, your black friend. It's like, which one?
Mhm, mhm,
And today, I think there's so much emphasis on why we can't be friends with people of different races or religion or uh, sexual orientation. I mean, I don't give a. Can I say shit? I really don't give a shit of what the color is. I mean, I respect people for their cultures. I respect people for their sexual orientation, their social economic background. But why has it become such an issue now? Because I try to make, and don't get me wrong, there are people out there of every race that are very friendly and have
Mm-hmm.
been, but
Mm-hmm.
there's been more of a divide now. Back then, Kevin, you and I never saw people as anything different than people,
Mm-hmm.
and by
Yeah.
their name. Your name is Kevin,
Mm-hmm.
mine is Giulio. It's not what we had in our pants or in our
Mm-hmm.
shirts or the color of our skin or the religion we went to. We were just or the money. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Well,
Mm-hmm.
when people thought I had money and they still do, they
Mm-hmm.
want to be your friend. When they find out you have a lot of bills and not a lot of money, then they're not your friend anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
why is it today that it's become such an issue and I think it's the media, but it's become such an issue that everybody is pointing fingers at everybody rather than embracing everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier. We're just divided, and we're not progressing in that area. We're not. We celebrate um athletes in a different way, but as soon as an athlete says something or does something which seems to be unusual, then like those opinions change, and the media really takes advantage of news and really exploiting it and making it uh, get out there, so that then to me it's like it almost puts it in a position to take sides. So I put the news out there, now take sides. What side do you believe in? What side do you believe in? It's a court case on TV, and the way it's sometimes presented is to take sides, right? So take sides in your judgment. Is this person guilty? Is he not guilty? Well, I wasn't there, so when it happened, so I don't I have no way. I have no way to determine that, right? And being able to do that, but I do think that's what's contributing, is that the media, it's just, providing the news for us, but it's creating this take a choice decision on the other side of it. So I don't think that they're purposely trying to make that happen, but I do think the reaction from people are to take sides.
And it's sad because
Hmm.
it should be, even if we took a side, but a respect for an opinion. That's what friends do, right?
Hmm.
Friends, you know, you might say, I think that person's guilty. I might say, well, we didn't see the whole story. We can have that conversation, but it's not
Hmm.
like you and I, and we can have a good debate, but it's not like you and I are not going to stop talking to each other. So
Yeah.
many people are losing the friendship because they stop talking to each other. Let me
Hmm.
hit you with this, because your wife
Hmm.
is Caucasian, correct? Uh,
Correct. So she's
in the
fair
world
skin.
yeah, fair skin. In the world description
Mhm,
today, they have to
mhm,
label you as something.
mhm,
But if we all took 23 and Me like I did, you'd discover
mhm,
you're more than just Caucasian. Uh,
mhm,
or a lot of people don't even know I'm Italian and Northern African. It blows their mind, but they're going to
mhm.
just judge. But your wife is a fair skinned, a beautiful woman. Uh,
Thank you.
how many friends have looked down upon that because you left your culture, your race for another?
Well, no friends because I have limited friends to begin with, but yeah, certainly a lot of people and acquaintances, and still as we meet people, just when we're out and doing things and just trying to enjoy life, you can get those responses. We've gone to networking events, where so people had the courage to offer their opinion. Meaning someone said something to my wife when I was not next to her. Um,
Do you have their names and their addresses?
and
Share that. Go ahead.
it was okay. No, and then the same has occurred to me. I've had African American men and women seem to be sideways. When we're out and we're just chatting and everything, and don't want to be truly. open and friendly, just because they look at us as two different, like people. What they don't know is my mother was just as fair as you, as well as my wife, in that process. But my father just had color in his skin, so that's where we are.
I
But
love what you just said. Just had color in his skin. Isn't
yeah,
that what it's
because he
all it
wasn't
is?
one.
It's one has more melanin than the other, and it's funny
Mhm.
because as a Caucasian people, we're always trying to get darker. We're always out tanning because we look good with a little bit
Exactly.
of color, but yet it's wrong to be with color in some point,
Hmm.
or it's not good to be friends, and that just bothers me because like I said, and it bothers me even hearing you tell me that about you and your
Hmm.
wife because I've never looked at you that way, or I never looked at
Hmm.
anybody, and I doubt you ever look at anybody that way.
Yeah, I could care less. You care about the person, and like when I met my wife, it wasn't, I'm looking at her skin color to determine whether or not I will fall in love with her. Like it just those things just don't really make sense. However, I know that there are, and we both know that there are cultures that just simply believe, you stay in your culture, you marry in your
It's
culture,
it's not it's not like picking out
you
flowers. I
do
like
that,
a certain shade of a color, a pink of flowers, or a certain
hmm.
red flower. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, there's beauty in all colors. Uh,
No, without a doubt. Beauty
especially
in all people, but their reactions, the things they say, that's what starts to get ugly. But just about everybody, and I say just about everybody, are beautiful because there are just some ugly people. But
and ugly, when you say ugly, I have to say something. You're not I know what you're saying. It's not
Mhm,
that their face is ugly,
mhm. No.
especially after a few drinks, they look good. But no, it's not that their face
Mhm,
are
mhm, mhm.
if that's your wife, tell her.
It was actually, but
But here's the
sorry
thing.
about that.
No, 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 no. What the hell
Mhm.
was I was saying?
It's okay. So we'll figure a way around that
You know what?
one.
No, no, here's the thing, it just makes me mad because people today, every time I say something, I've lost friends
Mhm,
because no matter what you say, you're either racist,
mhm.
friends. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought these were true friends, whether it be political, uh, the fact that I hang out with Kevin and he has a fair-skinned wife, and
Mhm.
why
Yep.
are you intermixing with people? I've lost friends because everything is racist, everything is bully, everything is harassment. I mean, my God, I'd rather be in jail where it's safe and I get 3 meals a day. Uh, but yet I'm in jail in my own house. I
Mhm.
get to walk the yard once in a while, clean up some poop,
Mm.
you know? But to go out there and be like it was before, uh, friendships like ours are rare. And
Well,
I want to get people back into the mindset of stop
mhm,
listening to the news, stop listening to the
mhm,
politicians, stop listening to the division. When I talk to
mhm,
the students, when I
mhm,
go out and do my speaking events, and I tell people, if an earthquake was to happen in this building and the building was to collapse right now,
mhm,
and all the bricks were to fall, and you were the last person standing and you heard somebody crying under those bricks for help,
mhm,
would you sit there and say, before I help you, tell
mhm.
me what
What
color
color is your
you
skin?
are? Yeah, what color is your skin? What's your
Mhm,
sexual preference? What's your religion?
mhm,
You're not going to ask
mhm.
that. They all
No,
say no. I said, what would you do? They said, we start digging them out because that's where our true heart is.
yep,
How do we get back
exactly.
to our true heart? What kind of message, even though you and I are being the example for people
Mhm,
of what
mhm,
true friendship means in relationship, um,
mhm,
because let's go back into our training days. Okay.
mhm,
When Paul Mitchell came out with the relaxer, remember
mhm.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Sodium hydroxide for ethnic
Mhm,
hair,
mhm,
for the African American client. Now, everybody has curly hair. Not everybody, but you get what I'm saying. All
a large population.
a large population, no matter, if you're
Mhm,
Italian, if I know Asian people that have curly hair. It doesn't matter. Okay. But they came out with the relaxer and they taught us hair is texture, not
mhm,
skin color.
mhm.
So
Yeah. And
what did I
so
do?
the
I
thing that you
jumped in.
said there just a second ago was, like it was a product for ethnic hair, right? So that like that was the kind of a boo-boo right there, simply because it was in a sense trying to classify, right, a small group of people when in fact ethnic is a very broad and big category, like of people, in being able to do that. So I think that word, not the product, that word, we misused it. We misused it around, the launch of that type of an item, because really it was designed for a smaller market of hair, but yet we say the term like we just said, ethnic. It's like all of us, we are, we actually fall in that, in being able to do that. So using that product could have been used on like anybody.
Yeah. And it's just funny because our
Hmm.
our trainer, who was African American, great platform artist, he
Hmm.
he turned around and says, "I'm looking for black educators."
Hmm.
Because when you and I were doing hair, let's face it, back in the 80s, if you were
Hmm.
African American, you went to an African American salon. If you were Asian, you went to
Hmm.
an Asian salon. If you were white, because
Hmm.
everybody was scared of touching each other's texture. You know,
Except your salon and my salon.
exactly. Anybody that walked through the hair is either what? Straight,
Hmm.
wavy, curly, excessively curly, or fine, medium, or coarse. It's not the skin color on it. But he said we need black educators because he knew it was hard for me to walk into a black salon. But
Hmm.
I challenged him, and I remember you had my back. You were like, "Go for it.
Hmm.
Go in there.
Hmm.
Call
Hmm.
him out on his words." And then you were my greatest cheerleader and coach because I had to turn to you, which something I've never had to do before. But as a
Hmm.
friend and a great relationship that we had, I was able to talk to you openly and honestly
Hmm.
and say, and even though I grew up in the neighborhood of, you were either Italian or you were black,
Hmm.
we all got along, but I didn't know the
Hmm.
culture as true as I should have. Uh,
Hmm.
we just knew each other as people. But I had
Right.
to turn to you, and you were great about when I said, Kevin, what is the terminology? Is it colored people? Is it African American? Or is it black?
Hmm.
I remember your words were like, dude, I don't even know myself. I had to ask you about terminology, culture, uncomfortable questions that some people would find very uncomfortable or racist. Today's everything racist.
Hmm.
But why were you so accepting and helping me understand?
Yeah, you just very small things of like getting smarter at anything. It helps all of us grow, right? So I just that's how I looked at that, right? It was like give you information that's going to help you grow, and it helps me grow. And then in exchange, you give me information, when the time comes, and it helps me grow, and it helps you grow. And I think that's a big part of the strength of a good relationship, right? Is that you're really just trying to provide information and a vehicle for someone so that they can grow and move forward, with what it is they're doing. But back to when you were saying, why are we not doing it? It's because we're stuck on trying to take sides. We're stuck in trying to take sides, and so now someone asks those same questions. Hey, would you help me out here? What kind of words would I use? What side do you want to take first? What side do you want to take first? Um, so I think that's kind of what the struggle is, that we will hopefully push through in being able to do that. But I just saw it as an opportunity to inform you and give you information
A lot.
that you will use, forever. And then you did the same, for me, and just understanding.
Well,
Uh,
it's funny because I remember when uh, I was talking to somebody. I'm Italian, so born in Italy, come to this country, so I spoke Italian. And I
mhm.
remember you were standing by me, and somebody was from Mexico, and I'm like, "Hey, so you speak Mexican?" And you tug my shirt, pull me close, and you're like, "Dude, they speak Spanish." I mean, sometimes people have to forgive people for their ignorance, but don't judge them. You'd never judge me. I never judged you. You just
We laughed about it. That's
we
what's sad. No, really, people don't laugh about those things. The only time they laugh is when they're in a comedy club and someone's saying something which is on the fence,
yeah.
in their thoughts, and then they'll laugh about it then.
Well, hey,
But
you can't
if
even go to
they're
a
out,
comedy club anymore. How many comedians you see on TV now? Because everything they say is judged.
scrutinized, yeah,
Yeah.
take sides.
Scrutinized. Is that the word? Me speak no good English.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's just what's happening. They're scrutinizing everything that is, being said. And so, now that we can use social media in so many ways to just put thoughts and stuff out there, like it's helping the can I take sides or will you take sides? That's what it's helping. It's
Yeah.
helping to just continue to encourage that.
And I'll be honest with you, there are some people that try to get me to take sides. Because some people came up to me and said, I know you're not white, which was unusual. It's like, okay, they know. So I know you got some brother in you. I'm like, well, I do,
Hmm. Hmm.
but they would ask me to pick a side.
Hmm.
And
That's unfortunate. That really is. It's
it
just
is
unfortunate.
unfortunate. And I am so thankful for people like you. There are many more people in our lives that are of different cultures, different race, different genders, but it's our job to educate people. Would you say so? I mean,
Hmm.
because today
Hmm.
there's new verbiage coming out all the time. I got beaten up. I'm going to go off the color thing for a while. I'm going to go
Hmm.
out to the I was friends with someone who decided they were going to be non-binary. I didn't know what the hell non-binary meant. I'm like, well, excuse me. They're like, my pronoun is they and them. I'm like, pronoun? That's not a pronoun. They and them. Who? I looked at him. I wasn't trying to be funny, but I'm like, who's they and
Hmm.
them? I only see you,
Hmm.
and they're like, and they got mad at me and they wouldn't
For
talk to
not
me
again.
time because
Yeah.
rather than educating me, which if I did that to you, if you were non-binary, you would probably educate me. Are
Well,
you
that's
not?
it back to what we were just saying though, like, right? Just provide information. Instead they got sensitive, right? They got upset instead of just saying, "Hey, can I tell you why?" Right? No, they don't want to take the time to do that. It's an assumption that you should know that, and it's just difficult. It's difficult to weave through all of those things, right? You're it's a choice that you make. That's fine. Just inform me, and then I'll understand.
Inform the people around you. But once again, it,
Hmm.
it goes back to what we're talking about is friendship. We were friends for so long. And as a friend, you could have turned to me and said, hey, this is what this means. Because things are
Hmm.
popping up every day that are new. I heard not too long ago, what is that? Polyethylene, where they have
Hmm.
multiple partners. What is it?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Poly something where they can have multiple. Poly, I don't care. Yeah, but here's the whole thing: it's freaking confusing. Here's all I want. I want your friendship. I want your honesty. If I suck at singing, I want a friend who tells me you suck at singing. But listen, sing your heart out. Just don't go on American Idol, okay?
I
I
think I told you that 20 years ago.
yeah, in my own world, I can sing in the shower. I'm friggin' fantastic. But no,
Yeah.
I just want. Uh, why can't we do that? I mean, you can, I can. Um,
Yeah, but
just be straight up.
it's yeah, what's funny is, okay, did we work at trying to be friends?
No,
Did we work at trying to be friends? Like
no.
that's what I think is also different now. Like the work at trying to be friends. Meaning, so like, if you're in Manhattan and you just, and you go out, like you just see this dynamic of when people are out and they're socializing. It just seems like there's this energy of work of like, here, here's what I'm doing, and here's what I'm doing, and here's what I'm doing, and here's what I have, and here's what I have, and here's what I have, right? And it's like they're working at taking sides and working at building a friendship. So, so if we have the same thing, some of the same things, right, then we can be cohesive and be friends. And that's what's really, really strange, in so many ways. We did not work at being friends. We just worked at what we were dreaming about, and we enjoyed being around each other through that process.
Yeah, and we never said, "Well, Kevin, you got more privilege," or you never said, "Julia, you got more privilege because you're lighter or I'm." We had the same privileges. The only thing we had to do was work hard at it. You know,
We worked hard at it.
yeah, we did.
We
And
worked hard
and
at it.
a lot of people try to ruin our friendship, didn't they? Try to
Yeah,
ruin our careers.
right.
Let's face it, they were jealous of us because of one thing. We worked together for the better good of becoming knowledgeable and helping others, and we did that
Mhm.
together. And why does that bother so many people?
Just probably as you look at the screen here, your skin is fair and mine is brown, so that
Okay,
bothers
can we
people.
darken these lights?
That bothers people. And that's okay.
Yeah, but your beard's white.
And being able to do that.
Your
Yeah,
beard's white.
yeah.
So
That's what
it's right.
age.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I saw Dr. J at the NBA All-Star game. I was like, I kind of look like Dr. J.
I look like Moses.
uh,
I color
yeah.
on the edges and keep a little gray
Oh,
out there just so that
nice. I thought it
people
was natural. I thought it was natural.
it is. But I color it
Uh,
anyway, just to use
yeah.
some product.
Mm, yeah.
Anyway, listen, I really
Mm.
enjoyed having these conversation. I mean, what words would you have for people out there uh, about a friendship like ours and how they can create something like that for their lives who are struggling with um, people's voices in their heads or other people feeding them nonsense. What kind of advice could you give them?
Yeah, I mean, think about if you were at a um 10-year-old soccer game, right? There's are you just cheering, for Tommy, like, your son,
Wait a minute, did somebody tell you I have a son, Tommy?
no,
'Cause
just
I didn't know.
saying,
I'm sorry, I
just
got
using the
nervous for a minute. Just go ahead.
name.
Because we've gotten those phone calls before. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't okay, go ahead. I'm off the
Yeah.
hook.
No, you're cheering for a young man named Tommy, or you're cheering for a young woman named Sarah. Um, the thing is, right? Like you really are out there in the sidelines as an adult, right? You're cheering for the team, right? You are, right? You want to see all of them. You want to see your special one do really, really well, right? But you want to see all of them do really well. Well, see that's what friendship could be. That's what
Wow.
it could be, but that's not what it is. It's not what it is. It's actually minor or young football. Like you can Google and see like all of these parents who are complaining to the refs and complaining to somebody, right? Because their child didn't get something or a fair shake of something, like throughout like they're just so upset because it's all about their space, right? And being able to do that instead of it being about the team, right? And what the team, is really getting out of these lessons to play together, to win, to lose, and to do that. So, it kind of goes back to your earlier, it's just we're caught up. We're just caught up in, we got to be right. We have to, I got to be right. I got to be right. I got to be right. Or, I got to take a side, and so that's difficult in friendships. That is extremely difficult. We were always supporting each other just through whatever you wanted to do. Just be supportive through that process, and that that support tends to like a glass that's bubbling over, so there's something for me, through that process, cheer you on, and then there's going to be some cheers for me, so I think if we could look at those, types of things, and be just a little bit more open to people, and really allow people to be themselves around you, that it just opens up the possibilities for new friendships, and for friendships to grow in being able to do that. But instead, what I see is just a tremendous judgment, and that judgment is what side are you on. And if you're not on my side, then you you're not in my space. So it's going to be a journey. You have a journey ahead of you, sir, to open the doors of friendships, and helping people really widen their scope, widen their view on how to just love people, and respect people. Doesn't mean you have to invite them in your home. It just means, there's just a little more love and respect. That's really.
Well, I
Really it.
love the fact that you and I were able to share this talk about friendship, and what it really means, and kind of be the model to all others of what friendship is. Because we picked on each other, we talk to each other in ways we don't take it personally. It's a friendly joke, but when I see you, I still hug you. You still hug me. We love our families. We love the people around us, and
I love your family, and you love and respect my families.
yeah.
Yeah,
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 and that's
yeah.
that's what true friends are. Even no matter what we go through, and our families have, and our kids have gone through some things, and we're always there to support each other. We didn't sit there and say, well, this one had more privilege, this one had less privilege. We just say, how do we kick their ass and shape them up? With the kids.
Right.
And we've had some great talks about that. But I hope people out there today will understand that there could be so many more conversations about division and this and that, but there shouldn't be. There should be just true classic friendship. I love you, you love me, I respect you, you respect me. Kevin, I don't even know what religion you are. I never asked you, nor did it matter, nor did you try to sell me on yours or I tried to sell you on mine. What I always respected was you. And maybe people can start to learn that out there. It doesn't, we're not here to put, I'd love to learn about your religion. What are you, by the way? Nothing?
No, I mean, I grew up in a household where, no, just I'm spiritual,
There you go.
but I grew up in a household that was Methodist, my mother, and Baptist, my father. So it was very confusing. So because in the Baptist church that we went to with my father, everybody's like, yeah, having a good time, having a
The
good time,
Holy
having
Ghost,
a good time,
feel the
having a
Spirit.
good time, having a good time, having a good time. Right? That's going on for an hour. In the Methodist church with my mother, it was, oh.
How'd that go? No, I get that because that's how the
Yeah,
Catholic Church was.
yeah,
Domino's pizza, whatever,
yeah,
and you're like, what is that inset you're putting all over the place? But I've been to Protestant churches, I've been
yeah,
to gospel churches. I think it's wherever you feel the Spirit, right? We're just
yeah.
longing for people
And
to.
my wife, she grew up in a different, religious space. So what we try to just kind of investigate is just churches that are open, just to people, and there's not too many.
Well, see, this is what I mean. After 40 years, I finally found out a little bit of your background, and you found out we still have plenty of things to talk about
Oh
and
yeah, and to learn. Yes,
to learn, and we
sure.
still want together, so everybody knows. Kevin and I still work together, and we still support each other. No, we're not on the phone every day. No, we're not writing love letters to each other every day, every other day. But we know there's a strong bond, a strong love, a strong trust, and my father always says you can probably count your true friends on your one hand. Get rid of your thumb, your true friends. You'll have many friends, he said, but you can probably, your true friends, count them on your hand. I had a friend who had a half a finger, so I told him you can't have
friends.
But it's true. Sometimes it's less than that, right? So, there are true people out there. You know who they are. Don't get upset if they go and how do you say, ruin the trust. Keep them in arm's distance. I always hated that saying, I should make my enemy's friend, how's that go? My enemy of my enemy's friend is my friend. Why would I even want to make them my friend? Why do I even want to go there? Why am I even going to make them? What's the energy I got to pour into my enemy's friend of my enemy? If I got an enemy, they're not my friend.
Yeah.
Why am I sitting there working on trying to get them as a friend? And I've never had to do that with you, and I hope I never have to do it with many other people. We have a choice, right?
Yes.
The choice is let's love each other, let's love everybody, and if for some reason we don't get along, we can respectfully,
not just we can respectfully not, like that's not how it goes. It's instead of respectfully not, it gets ugly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I appreciate the time that you took out to talk to me today, and you're always great, and please give my best to Donna and your grandkids and your son. All those wonderful people in your life. They'll have to get together soon. And we say that for how many years and we never get together, but we're always together in mind, heart, and spirit.
Absolutely.
We're get together.
And we're connected. So I really appreciate you inviting me into this. Thank you.
I wanted my first show to be special, and I wanted to be with somebody special. And you're the first person that came to my mind as my friend. For many
you're a special friend.
You're my special friend. But once again, we're just getting started on this, and I couldn't think of anybody who can make me feel more comfortable, more loved, and more appreciated, and have just a simple conversation, even if it kind of went off the rails a little bit, but that's how it is. But I'll never forget.
Thank you anyway.
And I always look forward to and never will forget all the great laughs, fun, and everything that we experience. Hey, have a great day, Kevin.
Love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, I hope you really enjoyed our interview today, and I hope you got a lot out of it, and hopefully you'll get back out there and start creating some more friendships and more relationships, and not worry about the small stuff. Don't sweat it. Anyway, I got some questions I need to answer, and before I do that, I want to thank Kevin for taking time out of his busy day to spend it with me and have a good, honest chat about friendship and relationships. Anyway, let's get to our first question. It's from Heather. I don't know where she's from, but Heather wanted to ask, how did you get started and where should I begin? What are you looking to get started and what do you want to begin? It depends on what industry. If you're talking about the hair industry, which I'm assuming, I got started in that business because my mom made me go to beauty school. I wasn't a good student at school, but she knew I had some gifts. I'm dyslexic, ADHD, I have phonics problems, but those are all gifts. And those gifts help me be better at other things by sometimes how can I say this? When you have something you're not great at, something compensates it to make you even better. So being that I was dyslexic and I couldn't really read well, or I couldn't pronounce words well, and I came from another country, I became a good listener, a good mimicker. I was able to recreate things. And I guess my mom saw that in me. So she made me go to beauty school. I wasn't crazy about it till I got to the school, but I saw a lot of beautiful people. I'm like, I think I could do this. But I discovered I had a gift. And here's the thing, when you start anything, we all have a great vision. We all have a vision of what it should look like and how amazing it's going to be, but there's work in that. So when you start something, don't give up, because there's going to be tough times. There's going to be failures. There's going to be mistakes. And I don't even call them failures. I call them discoveries. Just learn from them. That's how we grow. But a lot of people start something and they don't finish it because they're afraid of the discoveries. So how did I get started? I laughed at my discoveries. I laughed at the mistakes that I made, and I went back at it and did it again and again and again until I got it right. Because the way I learn is by repetition. Some people get it off the bat. Don't worry about them. Be concerned about what you want. Be concerned and focused on what you want to do, and don't let anybody else influence what your dream is. So when they're trying to talk you out of it, don't listen, just do it. Do it and understand that it's gonna take some work. Because a lot of people are like, how do I get to do what you do? Well, you gotta do what I did. If you're willing to do the dids, the hard work, you'll get to the do. And it's always gonna be like that for the rest of your life. Where should you begin? At school. Go to your local cosmetology school. Take a tour of each of those schools. See where your heart belongs. And if you think it belongs there, go there. Get the education and the foundation that you need. And understand there's always going to be drama. There's always going to be something you don't like. But if you focus on what you're doing and don't focus on all that other stuff that's going around you, that you focus what you paid for, right? Because there's always going to be stuff that goes around you, no matter what you do. So just begin. Just do it. Pick it up. Cut it. Roll it. Blow dry it. Have fun. And you'll see that you'll get to where you want to go. But keep working at it. Thanks for your question, Heather. The next question comes from Yvette. How can I find mentors who will support my growth? Well, it depends what kind of growth you got. If you got a really bad growth on your chin and it's got a lot of hair, I would see a medical professional and a hairdresser at the same time. Just kidding. I know what you mean. How do you find mentors to support you in where you want to go? Listen, there's mentors everywhere. You can find them in books. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them around you. Find people, though, that are great at what they do, not what they say. Because some people talk a lot, but they don't produce anything. Find somebody who's an expert in that field and see if you could just stand and watch them or assist them. Tell them you'll do it for free. That's what I did. When I found mentors, I found anybody who would encourage me, not mentors who would discourage me. Because there's two types out there. There's ones that have to feed their egos, and there's mentors who will feed you. And that's the mentor you want, the one that will feed you from their knowledge and their wisdom and give it to you with all their love. So you'll go through a few mentors, but they're out there. Just seek them, know who's good in the industry, read trade magazines, go to their shows, go to their seminars, watch them on YouTube, write them an email. You'd be surprised, a lot of them will answer you back. Sometimes you think, oh, they're too busy for me. They're not. I'm not too busy. You can chat me up anytime. You can ask me any questions. I can't cut as much as I used to because when you get older, arthritis kicks in, but I still got the knowledge, I still got the wisdom, and there's other people out there just like me who are willing to mentor and help other people. But here's the key. Be careful what you ask for. When you ask for a mentor, put your heart and soul into it. I've had so many people ask me to be their mentor, and as I'm trying to mentor them, they're still too busy on their phone or their iPad, or they can't do this, or they don't follow through. After a while, I give up mentoring them because I know their heart's not in it. So if you're truly looking for mentors, make sure you're ready to learn. I hope that answered your question, Yvette. And Tracy wants to know what's in my Yeti. Well, I guess she'll never know, but it tastes good. Ooh, a little limoncello with a shot of limoncello. Always the best thing when you're recording, to wet your whistle. And the other question she had is, what is my favorite book? Well, Tracy, I'll be honest with you. The first book I ever read was Self-Made in America in 1993, and I graduated in 1981. So that's the full book I ever read. I read multiple books. I read a few pages and put it down. I have a hard time retaining things because of my dyslexia. and my ADHD, because I'll just go floating away in my own thoughts. But I love audiobooks, movies. You can still get a lot when somebody reads it to me or I hear it. And some of the great books are How to Influence and Win Friends by Dale Carnegie. John Maxwell writes a ton of great books. One of the biggest inspirations I had was Zig Ziglar, which was How to Reach Your Goals. There was Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within, which was excellent. Like I said, there was Maxwell, 15 Irrefutable Laws for Self-Growth. He also wrote another book called Change Your World. You can't change the world until you change you first and start with you. So there's a plethora of books, but the last one that I keep going back to is Dale Carnegie's How to Win and Influence Friends. And I mean, a lot of it's common sense when I read them, and I take what I read and I just add to my own self-knowledge. And what I found out is that they're all saying the same thing. Be nice, be courteous, have integrity, have honesty, be lovable, love people. So when you read those books, they all say, now the only other book that I really love, okay, and that's the Bible. Now, I should go to church every Sunday. I don't, but I am a faith-based man, and I loved reading the Bible for a couple reasons. One, it has a good foundation. It talks about love, it talks about peace, it talks about happiness, and second, I want to make sure that when I die, I can get into the pearly gates. So it's really important that I stick to that book. So, but the Bible is a great foundation. I think a lot of us lost that faith, and whatever your faith base is, get back to it and go back to your faith books. They're really great to always revisit. Even if you read it once, read it 100 times. Do you like cheeseburgers? No, no offense. I love hamburgers, but I don't like cheeseburgers. Why? The cheese, I'm lactose. And if I have the cheese, I'm gonna bloat and I'll start floating like one of those Chinese balloons and somebody's gonna shoot me down. I can't take that risk. So I stay away from all lactate products, but I love hamburgers. So no offense against the cheese, but if you love them, I love cheeseburgers too. So that makes you happy. And what do you think, how do you think the beauty industry will fare through the recession? That's a great question. People keep talking about the recession, but they keep denying it. The recession is here. Maybe it's a mild one, maybe it's a hard one, I don't know. They keep confusing me, but prices are really going up. People are having a hard time. But in the beauty industry, there's one thing I noticed during a recession or any recession that we had, people will not give up getting their hair done. During the recessions, we've always had better results, not only in the salons, but even in the schools as people change careers and go after the career that they've always dreamed of. So a lot of more schools do a lot better during the recession because people are trying to find what they want to do and maybe go back to what they were passionate about. But like I said, I've been through a few recessions, and there's one thing that people do not give up is their hair. Even during the pandemic, think about that. That wasn't a recession, that was a pandemic. And what were people doing? They were calling their hairdressers behind everybody's back going, if you sneak over to my house and cut my hair, I'll pay you double, triple, quadruple. I can't tell you the amount of phone calls I got. So I'm not worried about the recession. I think what we need to focus on is what we want to do and do our best at it. But we don't want to be frivolous and spend money we don't need to spend. But during the recession, I think I know the industry will do extremely well, as we've always done, recession or no recession. So I hope that answers your question. And you asked if I like cheeseburgers again. Burgers, as the Pink Panther would say, burger, hamburger. So no cheese for me, but thanks for your question, and keep them coming in and we'll keep answering them. And I look forward to seeing you all on our next show where we'll answer more questions and have some more interviews and some more fun. Can't wait to see you then. Thanks. Bye. Yeah. Thank you very much.